Well, Blake Lively has just been named one of Time's top 100 most influential people of 2025. And boy, has she influenced us. We have her and Anna Kendrick promoting the London premiere of Another Simple Favor. And is their feud done? Is it not done? Are they forced to play nice? Because Anna Kendrick was looking a little awkward on that red carpet. And then I went to the Vanderpump Villa season 2 premiere party with Hulu. And I've got lots to say about it. So I hope you are ready for it. Let's dive in. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome on in. Welcome back to another episode of No Filter with Zack Peter. Today is Wednesday. We're taping a little earlier than usual. Normally we tape at 9, but today we're taping at 7:30 because I have a full day ahead with TikTok. And apparently Spotify's down right now. So if this episode is not available on Spotify today, it'll be available as soon as Spotify is no longer broken. Same thing with the Pop Report. We have a new episode out on YouTube. You can watch on YouTube, but it's not out yet on the other platforms because, again, Spotify is a little broken at the moment. But we're going to fix that soon. Here to help me recap, because he was with me yesterday in Beverly Hills at the Vanderpump Villa party, is Mr. Chef Stu O'Keeffe. Hi.
We're back.
We're back again.
It's early.
As always.
Yeah. Oh. What did you think?
I know. I'm tired. What did I think of what?
Well, you'll get into it. I'm sorry. I'm just like...
We'll get into the party. Yeah. We'll get into there's a lot to get, because I even...
Yeah.
I took a gummy last night, and then I put out a tweet. And I said, what did I say? I was like, well, I'm going to tweet it. I said, of all the housewives I've met, the worst, surprisingly, was Lisa Vanderpump. We'll get into it. It was an interesting day. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's start with, did you watch Beverly Hills? Real Housewives Beverly Hills?
I watched Beverly Hills last night. Yeah.
Overall thoughts?
It wasn't as dramatic as I thought it would be. It was fine. It was kind of sad. Like, I was sad, and I kind of cried at some parts of it about Kyle and the marriage, and just like Kyle talking about the marriage and just the end of an era and 30 years marriage or whatever it is. Like, that's sad. Like, I really felt her in that.
Yeah. And her being a lesbian. I feel like she kind of was coming out without officially coming out.
Yeah. I think with that it's like she doesn't want to say the word lesbian, because I feel like she doesn't even know herself, I think. And I think she's a straight woman that, a marriage ended up a long time. She found Morgan, who was just like this woman that was probably very nurturing, and it's probably something she needed at the time, and she's exploring it. I think she could be back to dick in 8 months.
Maybe. I think she just needs to get that out of her system and explore that and be okay exploring that. And then once I think she does, then I think, like you said, she'll be back. She'll be fine. Like, she'll find a nice husband and she'll settle down.
Yeah. And I felt like there was, like, last night, and it almost kind of annoys me. It was kind of almost like they were trying to force her to say that word. Like, like, and like Andy's like, oh yeah, when I came out to my parents, she's like, no. Like, I'm not saying I'm a lesbian, or when I hate that. It's like, why are you so fucking obsessed with, like, we want you to say this? It's like, let her fucking be. She's exploring it. And
then Kathy came out, and Kathy's like, I talked about my sexuality to my kids. And it's like, Kathy, nobody believes you're a lesbian. Like, not the same way nobody believes you're Chinese.
Yeah. It's
just funny. And then Garcelle, I was very underwhelmed with her. I thought that this was going to be like a big bang, and it was as boring as her entire time on this show. Her walk off was like completely lackluster. I agree with Dorit. I thought it was unprofessional. And then you see that, like, Andy gives her an opportunity to have the floor, and is like, Garcelle, you said that you were upset. Is there something you would like to get off your chest? She's like, no. And he's like, nothing. And she's like, no.
That's the thing too. I read somewhere this morning, on like a meme or something like that. It's like, Garcelle has been given so many times to have the floor, as you just said, and she holds back. But then when she fucking walks off the stage, she lets it all out in the backstage. And it's like, no, girl, like, that's where you're meant to be saying up, like in front of all of us.
But she can't handle confrontation. That's really what it is. She cannot handle confrontation. And anytime that she does, we see that, like, she can't have a fair fight with any of the other women because she immediately turns herself into the victim. And she kind of does in this moment where Andy gives her the opportunity to be like, well, get it off your chest. And she's just like, nobody smiled at me today. And then Kyle's like, at all? And she's like, well, maybe when I first got here, but not since then. And Kyle's like, well, are any of us smiling? Like, reunions are kind of stressful. And she's just like, no, but nobody smiled at me. And then Kyle's like, well, did you smile at anybody else? And
Yeah.
they didn't smile back at you? And she's
I
just
don't
like,
think
I'm just saying, that's how I feel. And that's how
none
she always does that.
none of those bitches are smiling at each other before a reunion. Like none of them are.
No. I mean, come on. Kyle wasn't smiling. What was it? The Aspen season where she was like crying and didn't want to take a
Yeah.
photo and like, breaking down. Erica wasn't smiling when she was at the center of the reunion when they were grilling her about Tom's legal drama. Like,
Exactly.
sad, mad, reunions where you don't have resolution. Like, the fact that her biggest issue was that she's just like, I feel like I'm taking accountability and nobody's smiling at me. I'm like, but are you taking accountability?
It is very like victim-y, and it's very like I'm gonna sit over
Always.
here in a huff in the corner and just like wait for the people to come and kind of save me and just feel sorry
Always.
for me. And it's and like you can't be a housewife if you're gonna have that attitude. And it was just like she had this like chip on her shoulder, and it was like she didn't want to participate. Like, did something fucking happen before she walked on that set that we don't know of? It's like her whole vibe was like this because nothing was thrown at her on that reunion that was anything special. It wasn't.
The other housewives have gotten a grilling at the reunion, as we've seen with Kyle and Erica these past couple of reunions. Like, they have gotten annihilated. And Garcelle, like, barely got any, like, they put the burner onto, like, a real simmer. And yet, even then.
Sorry, 1 second. Laura Raids, she's like, and she's not a Chinese lesbian.
No, she's not.
Sorry, that's really funny.
Carolyn Bird said she always says, I stand in my own truth. And that's the things. It's like, that's what I hate about people are like, well, this is my truth. And that's what she said. These are my feelings. It's like, well, I can say that the sky is green and those are my feelings. I feel, but objectively, that's not based in reality. And then the argument is, well, then you're denying me of my feelings. You're denying me of my truth. I'm just speaking my truth. But your truth is not always the objective truth,
Yeah. And it's like, look, people, if you're having like an argument with a boyfriend or an ex-boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever it is, and you're like, and there is a thing where it's like, your feelings are valid. You should be able to talk and people should be able to listen. And she always like, I feel she's given this, like, I feel like my feelings are never like kind of taken accounted for or anything like that. She kind of feel, and it's like, no, they do hear you. They do hear you. They do hear your feelings, but they're allowed to respond as well.
Yeah. That's it. You don't just get
it
to have the floor.
Her.
Yeah. You don't get to just have the floor and say your truth and then expect that to be the only thing that's said. Especially when every time she said her truth, there's often a dig or some sort of, weaponization of something. We've seen her weaponize, race a ton of times against these women. So it's like, how do you not expect them? Yeah, look at Tiffany said Garcelle's truth is that Dorit's robbery was fake. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't just be like, that's my truth, that I think your robbery was fake. Like, you can't just say those things and then not realize the weight of that. That's why I understand where Bose came in, and Bose was like, if you said that about me, like, yeah, I would absolutely sue you. Like, that's dangerous to say that. Like, and then Garcelle's like, well, that's just how I feel. And it's like, but you can't just throw shit like that out there and not expect people to respond. Yanni says, it seemed to me that this whole season, Garcelle was already not into it that much anyway, especially the after show. She didn't look like she even wanted to be there. Well, because I don't understand what her purpose is on the show. She's not engaging.
She's right.
Not giving. Like, I don't understand what she's really bringing to the show that, makes her such an asset, aside from, when she grills the other women. And like, that's fair if that's going to be your role. But if you're the pot stirrer, then own that role of the pot stirrer. Like, Lisa Rinna leaned into being the villain. Lisa knew her job was to ruffle feathers and to say crazy shit and to ask all the questions that nobody else was going to ask. Lisa knew how to just do her job. And when she was booed at BravoCon, she's like, it is what it is. This is like, this is like wrestling. and we're gonna get booed sometimes. And Garcelle cannot take even a fraction of heat.
Like, I feel like the one time I always like, if you were to talk about Garcelle, like having like kind of like a moment or kind of exploding was when I remember when they were all outside and that outside like luncheon or whatever it was. And Dorit says something to Garcelle and she's like, fuck you with that. Like that was I feel like the only time I feel like she truly came out and was like, okay, she's fighting like a housewife now. This is great. But that was like, I don't remember anything else. That
But then
was the
it
only
was
thing
immediately,
that stuck out.
shut down because Dorit tried to clap back at her, and then it became like, oh well, it became about race, and that whole season was about how Dorit is racist, and Dorit, hires people of color for her help, and like,
Yeah.
it was just that narrative that kept getting peddled, and it's not an even playing field when you go on and then you're trying to play. When you throw that card down, like it immediately just shuts down any sort of opportunity. Because remember, Dorit then said that Garcelle, you attacked me, and then at the reunion, Garcelle was just like, you said I attacked you, but you have had a gun to your head. You know what an attack feels like, and you're going to say that to me. And she was insinuating that Dorit was trying to imply that Garcelle's an angry Black woman. And that's what I love that Bo's brought into this reunion about how, like, well, Sutton called me angry in the after show. And she's like, and Garcelle, you didn't even clock it. And Garcelle's like, I don't even remember that. And then Jennifer Tilly chimes in and she's like, yeah, Garcelle, actually, it was da, 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 da. And like Jennifer Tilly remembered it exactly. And I was like, and Garcelle's really going to try to play this. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. See no evil, speak no evil. But also, apparently, Garcelle and Sutton haven't talked to since the reunion. Apparently, Garcelle's ghosted Sutton.
Yes. Yeah. They haven't
Shows how
spoken.
real. You know who hasn't ghosted anybody? Lisa Rinna or Diana Jenkins. Like all of those people, Erica and Lisa and Kyle and Dorit, they all still hang out. So,
also, I saw kind of like Garcelle's face, I think, when Sutton was kind of like friends and all this kind of stuff, and she was like, I need to work on myself and all this kind of like all these things, and like Garcelle kind of gave this like eye, as in to say like, that's not what you were fucking telling me backstage. You probably hate all these bitches, But yeah.
Sutton,
and
if anything,
go ahead.
If anything, you can see Sutton is very clearly not a friend to Garcelle. Because at the end of the reunion, after Garcelle had walked off, Sutton didn't immediately chase after her, which if you'll remember last reunion, when Sutton had to be wheeled out in an ambulance, Garcelle was right there with her, left her phone behind and everything, and like just went with Sutton and stood with her for the night. So you can tell, and at the end, after she walked off, and everybody was like, "What is she like? What's her big deal?" And then Sutton's like, "I don't know." She was like telling me backstage, and like, I don't really get it, like And she was just like, I was just like, "That's your friend, and she's had your back, ride or die." So I get why Garcelle's ghosting Sutton, because Sutton's never been a real friend to Garcelle, and I think it was abundantly clear.
She's all about trying to connect herself with Kyle and stay close to Kyle, so she says on the show, I think.
And I think Garcelle's finally realizing that. Like Garcelle attached her wagon to Sutton, and they were two peas in a pod the entire time. And she's realizing that, like, had she not attached herself so closely to Sutton and allowed herself to get to know the other women and build those relationships more, rather than it being this package deal of me and Sutton, and we're going to call out all of the mean girls, like that's where Garcelle fumbled the ball. She wanted to make her and Sutton the fan favorite duo that everybody came out and was rallying behind. And it's just, It backfired because now she realized Sutton had no loyalty to her.
You have to just dance with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break for a message from our sponsors, and then we'll get into the Blake Lively and the Vanderpump Villa. Let's talk about weight loss. We all know somebody taking the Zempic or something similar to shed the pounds, right? Well, now it's a staggering 13 million Americans who are taking a drug for a disease they don't even have. Talk about scary. There are now class action lawsuits linked to side effects for non-diabetics like gastrointestinal issues, pancreatitis, kidney problems, and even some cancers. I know. We all think we're invincible, right? But do you really think it's worth risking your health? Do you struggle with cravings, have a slow metabolism, maybe some stubborn fat? You're not alone. The experts at the Wellness Company's medical board have developed a new, safer option to help curb appetite by working with your body's GLP-1 hormones without a prescription or painful shots. Introducing Drop. a breakthrough GLP-1 peptide that targets hormones to assist in improving metabolism and blood sugar balance, plus hunger reduction. Just a few flawless drops in your water each morning for some serious weight loss on your terms. Summer's around the corner, and if you've been looking for an alternative that doesn't involve shots, it's time to drop it like it's hot, minus the needles. Head to twc.health/nofilter and use code NOFILTER to save $75 off your first month supply. That's twc.health/nofilter and use code NOFILTER to save $75 off your first month. Go right now. Make this your best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh, ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle, like mine. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. I'm currently on the Protein Plus. We're trying to bulk up, right? Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. It's easy to savor more this spring. Factor meals pack in flavor without any of the fuss. I know with me, if I've had a long day of taping, if I've been at an event, or I've been running around all day with the dogs, it's so nice to not have to come home and then make a mess in the kitchen by cooking and then having to clean. Factor's super easy. You pop it right in the microwave. It's ready in 2 minutes, and I get to enjoy a delicious meal that I know also hits my macros. Am I right? Get started at factormeals.com/nofilter50 off and use code nofilter50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code nofilter50 OFF. Nofilter50 off. Nofilter50 off at factormeals.com/nofilter50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. All right. Shall we talk about Blake Lively?
I can't.
Did you see, Stu? I don't know if you saw this groundbreaking new article that came out this morning. Well, where did you go? Blake Lively has been named one of Time's top 100 most influential people of 2025. Okay. Now, hold on. Let me just read you very quickly this little blurb that they've written on their website as to why
Please.
Blake Lively has become one of their top 100 people. I don't know the Blake Lively of the red carpet or this is from Cheryl Eiffel. I don't know the Blake Lively of the red carpet or the Met Gala. I never watched Gossip Girl. The Blake Lively I know is a philanthropist and a student of our country's most intraceable problems. She and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, reached out in 2019 to make a contribution to the NAACP's Legal Defense Fund. I had been getting a few of the calls as our work fighting against voter suppression and police brutality was never receiving national attention. I'm always curious about the kind of research famous people do before they make that cold call to offer their support. The ones I have remained in relationship with are those who, like Blake, really did their homework. I had admired immediately her curiosity and her sincere work to understand the conditions that shape this country. I remember an early conversation in which she expressed frustration that so much of our nation's history was not part of the instruction that she had received as a student. Her commitment to filling those gaps and becoming the most fully informed and prepared citizen is what I appreciate most about her. Blake is a serious person. Blake is a risk taker, and she's committed to moving this country forward for her children and for
Oh,
mine.
Jesus. My God.
So,
Bridget just said plantation lively.
Okay, so thank you. So what people forget is in 2019, because the question is like, oh, well, she's being acknowledged in 2025 for a donation that she made in 2019 to the NAACP.
Yeah.
But remember, that time is when she was under fire. Her and Ryan Reynolds were under fire because they had their plantation wedding. So people are like, she made this donation to distract from the fact that she had a plantation wedding. But the crazy part is the biggest thing that they can cite in this reason as to why she's one of the top most influential people of 2025 is this donation she made, 6 years ago? That was a PR stunt to distract from her plantation
Yeah.
wedding? Like,
No one's gonna
what?
forget that wedding. Yeah.
Like, what?
It's just go away. You know what I mean?
It's
I don't even know what to say about it. Like, well, it's obviously a PR thing, piece or
it's
whatever.
obviously a PR. But,
Yeah.
like, listen, I will argue she is influential in 2025, but not for her 2019 fucking donation to the NAACP. That's not why she's influential right now. That's not why she's the talk of the town, you
Not for
know?
good reason. No. Yeah.
And of course, in it, they also have to mention her husband, Ryan Reynolds. He has to get a shout out in this too. She and her husband reached out in 2019 to make a contribution. But it's just like, we're really citing something that happened 6 years ago as to why she's the person of the year now.
Well, why wasn't she in 2020 then, or 2021?
Yeah, Kelly says this is just concrete proof that all of these recognitions are bought and paid for, just like Beyonce's country Grammy. Very true. Danny says, yay, Stu's here. You both are looking like delicious snacks at the Vanderpump Villa event. Oh, we'll get into the Vanderpump Villa
Easter.
event in a sec.
Yeah.
Easter. Oh, yeah, we were Easter eggs, as Heather called us. Delicious Easter snacks. Okay, but here are a couple of the other people. There were a few people that were mentioned. Demi Moore was part of the list.
Okay.
Elon Musk was part of the list. Zuckerberg was part
Taylor
of the
Swift?
list.
Must be.
Lorne Michaels was part of the list.
Wait there. Is this 2025 or 2024?
This is 2025.
Okay, great. God, they do it very early in the year, don't they?
Right? Like, we're barely into April. Like,
Like,
what if
I
somebody
mean,
does something influential over the
exactly.
summer?
That's why I was like, is it 2024? Like, no, yeah. Wow.
Let me see if I can find the full.
Who's the number one?
Ed Sheeran, Scarlett Johansson, Daniel Day Kim, Kristen Bell, Adam Scott, Rashida Jones, Diego Luna, Nicole Scherzinger, Kristen Wiig, Willie Chavaria, Danielle Deadwiller, Hosier, Miranda July, Brandon Jacob Jenkins, Mohammed something, Annabelle Seldoff, Yoshimoto Nara. Wait, who are these? Oh, these are the artists. Okay, so those are the artists. Icons. These are the icons of the year. Demi Moore, Jalen Hurts, Adrian Brody. Interesting. It doesn't even look like Adrian Brody. Giselle Pelicott, Haruyuki Sandana, Angeline Murimura, David Muir, the news guy, Raquel Willis, Bobby Brown, Anthony Romero, Yoshiki, Amy Griffin, Leon Marchand, and Fatou Balde. Then we have the leaders of 2025. Keir Starmer, Claudia Scheinbaum, Donald Trump, Maria Corina Machado, Elon Musk, Mohammed Yunus, Howard Luntick, Tedros something, JD Vance, Rashima Kuryalarami, Frederick Mers, Megan Kelly, Lee J. Myung, Teresa Rubira, RFK Jr., Andrea. So these are all the political people.
Yeah.
Here are the titans of 2025. Serena Williams, Ed Bastian, Blake Lively, Lorne Michaels, Simone Biles, Doug McMillan, Musia Prada, Ted Sarandos, Joe Rogan, Lisa Su, Mark Zuckerberg, Bonnie Chan, Alex Karp, Jonathan Greenblatt, Stephen J. Swery. So Blake is in the Titans. I mean, she's certainly a Titan. You know, she's the Goliath here. Then we have pioneers. I'm not going to read all these names because I don't know who any of these people are. We have innovators. Nikki Glazer, Snoop Dogg are in the innovators.
Cool. Okay.
Who else is in the innovators? That's relevant. That's it. Wow. What a time.
What a time to be alive.
Oh, man. Well, good for Blake Lively. She's one of the most influential people of the year, and we're barely into April.
Yeah. God.
Um, did you see that Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick
Yes.
appeared together in London?
It's basically me and you.
Yeah, right. So E! News ran this story with this photo, and this photo has been going around all over the internet. But E! News wrote, Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick shut down feud rumors with a simple favor reunion. Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick proved that there is simply no bad blood between them, smiling side by side while promoting a simple favor at London's Corinthia Hotel, April 15th. I don't know. Does this look like they're shutting down? Like, Anna doesn't look too happy.
I saw another video of them in the car, but this seemed okay. I felt like they were kind of like, she was kind of like jolly and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like Blake's on her best behavior right now. And I think Anna Kendrick knows that. So she can be, so she's tolerable.
She has to be. Like,
Yeah.
and I think after South by Southwest, they were like, listen, you just have to sit there, smile, look
Yeah.
like you guys are having fun. Don't look like you hate each other, because I'm pretty sure Paul Feig is like, listen, just play nice and just, just fucking get through this press tour, and then you can hate each other later.
Man. Oh.
But do you think that there's really a feud between them?
I think Anna Kendrick is like, I don't care. Like, I feel like she's just very unbothered, and she's just like, I'll turn up. Where do I need to turn up? Okay, great. I'm not fighting with you. I'm here to do my work. You know what I mean? I feel like she has that kind of attitude.
Yeah. We have, here's Henry Golding with them. There's Anna. Well, Anna just doesn't look happy to be there overall. I don't know if it's the Botox, but like, she just doesn't really look like she's smiling, no?
I mean, yeah, you could be right.
Blake's there, rocked out in her best Chanel. Is this a good look for her, considering she's facing a trial and she's saying that she's emotionally traumatized? I don't know,
I
Stu. They don't
mean,
look too jolly to me.
there was video where they were kind of joking and kind of like smiley, kind of. It wasn't as bad as that. It's a still photograph. I mean, okay. I mean, she looks good though.
She does look good.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Blake will always be smiling. She has to.
Yeah.
God, I just hate to be her. I would hate to be her right now.
Annabelle says she looks so traumatized.
I mean, she can barely get out of bed.
Donna said, yeah, she said her kids are traumatized. I don't know if
no, stop. Oh, please. Traumatized from stuff I caused. Great.
But here's no, traumatized from the retaliation campaign from last summer. That's what they're traumatized by.
Oh, please. Why? Because you kept talking about your fucking hair care?
Her kids are young enough to not be on social media and know what's going on that deep. Like, how are her kids traumatized by this? That's the part
They wouldn't even know what's going on unless Ryan is telling them.
Katie says, I'm Team Justin, but people still have to show up to work even when they're traumatized. Yeah. I just, again, the argument is that she's so traumatized that she couldn't get out of bed, and her kids are so traumatized, and her family's so traumatized, that to see her walking all these red carpets, dipped out in Chanel, like, to me, that doesn't look like a good look, in my opinion.
But what do you think she should be wearing then?
I mean, you don't need to be flashy. You can wear Chanel without flashing Chanel, but she intentionally wore, it's the pieces. Like, here's the thing. It's the purse that she's wearing that's like a very obvious Chanel purse. Like, you don't need to go full Dorit and flash all the labels, If anything, that shows me you got the money to pay Justin. I don't think her outfit looks bad. I know a lot of people were dogging the outfit, and they're like, she's wearing a grandma sweater and her hooker boots and all that stuff. I don't think Blake looks bad. I think it's
I don't think so.
Cute outfit. Yeah. I think Anna looks cute too. I think both of their outfits look fine. Okay, so we just came from that's everything with Blake, and yeah, we did the times list. Yeah.
This one is
so you and I were just at the Vanderpump Villa event.
Yes, Easter.
With our Easter eggs. I'm trying to see if there's a better way to. I guess not. So we were just at the Vanderpump Villa party, which I thought was a lot of fun. What did you think of the event overall? I thought it was fun. It made me kind of like look forward to the new season.
Yeah, I mean, space was great. Tied in with the But the show, that a cool little arch with the flowers, you felt like you were in Italy or wherever, Tuscany or wherever that show was shot. And it was nice crowd. Food was delicious. Um,
Mel says, see, this is fashion.
yes. I mean,
Danny says, we
yeah.
didn't look like Easter eggs. Or like Easter. I thought
Well,
that's
you're
very
blue and
Easter.
I'm
They're very
pink.
Easter colors. Yeah.
They are pastel, right?
Yeah.
I need to get the sleeve on that suit taken up tiny bit.
Oh, listen, the event was great. So we walk in and they immediately have, somebody to greet us and to give us the rundown of what was going on, which I thought was lovely. Here, I'll share some more photos from that day. We got to chat with Stassi. There's you and I. We were hanging out with Heather because Heather was there and we ran into Heather
Heather was there,
McDonald.
yeah.
They had these cute cocktails. Cocktails were great. Food was great. You didn't get to enjoy the entrees, but the
I didn't.
food
I had to go to
was
work.
great. You had to leave. You had to go to work, which was fine.
And
But so we walk in, immediately greeted at the elevator. They give us the rundown of what's going on. There were these other, these other gays in the elevator. They were like dressed real cute too. We go upstairs. They completely ignored it. Like they didn't want anything to do with it. They were
I
in
know,
their
and
own
I've
world.
seen them on. I don't know who they are, but I've
Oh, you knew
seen
who
them
they
on.
were?
I
Oh,
knew who they were. I've seen them on. I think I might follow them on Instagram and stuff like that, but I don't know their names. Or they do. I think right now they're renovating a house in West Hollywood or something, and they're
oh, fun.
doing that every whatever.
Yeah, they weren't really friendly. But anyway, we walk in, say hello. We go to the bar. We're getting cocktails. Stu doesn't want to drink because he's boring. He had to work. But so I ordered one of their cute little cocktails. It had this is like a common trend right now, the celery salts.
Yes, on the
They
rim.
have like tahini or the sugar rim. They had like a really nice, like it was a very fresh spring style cocktail, which I thought was really yummy. We saw Heather. We took some photos with her. She was there with her
Yeah,
friend Michelle. Great time. Also looking like very fun spring colors. And then we're taking photos and I didn't realize the event was being filmed for Vanderpump Villa.
I didn't either. I saw that on my way out. I saw the
Same, me too.
board
It was
there.
on the way out that I saw the thing and I was like, oh, there's
Yeah,
a filming notice and we're filming. Oh, but there weren't any like boom mics or anything. So if anything, maybe Stassi and Lisa were mic'd, but outside of that, I don't remember seen anything else. But anyway, so they have this cute little photo op, which you can see, which is where I took a photo with
yeah.
Stassi and the three of us, me and Heather. And so it's like this cute arch with these flowers that says Vanderpump Villa, whatever. So we're there, we're taking photos, and then Lisa walks by. And Heather sees her, and I think you were kind of off to the side at this point. And so Heather sees her, and so it's just me, Heather's friend, Heather, and then Heather brings Lisa into the group and she's like, Lisa, how are you? And then they're kind of chatting. And normally, when you're like the person walking into a group of 2 or 3 people, like
Uh-huh.
the first natural thing to do is to say hello to, one of the 3 people. And here, I just want to say this, the ambiance was great. The food was so good. The drinks were incredible. And Stassi was absolutely incredible start to finish. She took photos with everyone because at one point after you'd left, people were lining up to do all the photos and to do their little
Yeah.
TikTok videos with Stassi. She stood there and gave everyone her full attention, fully present, talking, engaging, taking photos, selfies, videos, multiple poses, like doing all the things, complimenting everybody on their outfits. Like Stassi was truly above and beyond, always has been. She's been on the podcast before. I adore her. Every time I've seen her, it's always been just the best time. And Hulu, I'm very grateful to Hulu. Love Hulu, have a great relationship with them, have, worked with them on Kardashians, Mormon Wives, all that stuff. So I would say this event overall for me was a 9 out of 10. And the only
Yeah.
reason, and I would have given it an 11 out of 10 had I not had such a terrible experience with Lisa Vanderpump, which to me was such a fumble of the ball because it was a pretty intimate event. So all of us are
Oh,
invited to
yeah.
this event to help promote her show, right? Like we're all there because Hulu clearly has seen some sort of value in each of us, whether we have a podcast or a TikTok or whatever it is,
Uh-huh.
to help promote her show, right? So to me, so the first interaction I had with her at this event, this is the first time I've ever met her. I've never met her in person before, ever. Heather brings her in and she completely does not acknowledge me, like full on. And so when you're kind of standing there and you're like one of 4 people in this small group that's huddled together, it's kind of awkward when you're just standing. And so I'm just kind of standing there smiling, like whatever. And then the more awkward part is all the cameras are on us because they're filming what's happening.
Yes.
And so the photos are happening. I'm like, fuck. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, just sit here and smile. And like, it's super awkward. And Lisa won't even like look at me or acknowledge that I'm sitting right next to her, like nothing. Right. And then immediately, you know, she kind of moves on. And so the party keeps going, whatever. And then I turned to you and I was like, Lisa totally stubbed me. And you're like, no, you're like, she's just busy. She's being
Yeah.
pulled here and
Oh,
there.
there was
Like
just
you
once
didn't
off.
think
Maybe
anything of
just
it.
yeah.
So then we're all asked to sit down. And
No,
we
wait.
had a
No, can
great
I tell them
yes, yes,
story
yes.
what happened with the thing with the cards?
We have place cards, and so they ask us to sit down, and so there are name cards. So each of the
Yeah.
tables only fits 4 people, and so there are name cards, and we're looking for our names, and Heather was looking for her names, and we were kind of hoping to sit together. But so then we get there and we see the name cards, and we had our table was right in front. It
It
was
was
like right
great
in
seats.
front in
Yeah.
everything, beautiful view, like great positioning of the table. Um, and so we noticed that there were 2 other people that were sitting at our table and they weren't Heather and Heather's friend. And so Heather was seated at a table like back and around us. And she was only, but her table, I didn't realize only had 3 people. It was Heather, Heather's friend, and 1 other person. And
Yeah.
so Heather obviously wanted to sit with us. So then you and Heather concoct this idea that we're just going to switch the name cards. We're just going to move Heather's names over to our table and the names that are at our table,
Yeah.
we're going to move somewhere else. Thinking, because nobody at that point was really looking at or realizing that there were
No,
even
nobody had
name
sat yet.
cards on
Yeah.
the table. Everybody was getting cocktails and like doing their thing and doing the perfume activation. And so the second I see you guys messing with the name cards, I'm like, I'm not going to pay attention. I'm going to turn my head and I
Yeah.
want nothing to do with this in case this backfires. And as soon as I turn away and pretend that I don't see what's happening, next thing you know, I see commotion and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And the commotion is the second you pulled the name tags off of our table and turn, you just happen to bump into the 2 people whose name tags they belong
Legit.
to.
No, and they're like, "Oh, that's our cards." I'm like, "Oh, oh fuck. Yeah, my friend just kind of wants to sit here." I said, she's like, "No, it's totally fine. Like, totally, just move the cards. It's fine." I was like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, totally sprung, caught, red-handed, Scarlet, the whole thing. Like, I'm just like, thank God she was cool about it.
She was
I
a
was
juicy
so
scooper, so
embarrassing.
she was like, "It's okay." And I know you guys were like so embarrassed, but they're like, "Is that fine? Is it okay?" Because yeah, I mean, they had a. I didn't understand the table arrangement, like why they seated certain people at certain tables. Maybe
Mm,
I mean, I guess they wanted us to mingle or mix, but like we were a foursome at that point.
yeah,
We gotten our drinks together. We were doing our photos. Like at that point, there was no not sitting next to each other. So Heather moved her cards over and ended up sitting at our table, and we did the switcheroo, and it was fine. It went great. But so then we start sitting down, they start serving the appetizers. And so remember, I told Stu about how Lisa snubbed me, and Stu's like, no, she was just busy. It's not that big of a deal. And I was like, all right, fine. Maybe I'm overthinking this. So I sit down, we're sitting down, and then I see Lisa, and her table is in the back corner with her crew. And she gets up, and I notice that she's then going around table to
doing the
table,
rounds.
which, as
Yeah,
the host, you do your rounds, you say hello, you thank them for coming, you take a photo if they want a photo, like you do your rounds, right? And so I see her, and in my head, I'm like, oh, she snubbed me once, and it felt very deliberate. Is she going to snub me again? Because if she does this again, it's very intentional. And mind you, Heather was seated at our table. And yes, they had a brief interaction earlier, but like there was no reason for her to not come over and have a proper
of
moment
course.
with
Yeah,
Heather
no, she
at
would. She
our
would hit the
table.
table. Yeah,
She went table to table to table to table. And then I see her walking towards our table. And immediately she sees me and then just like tilts her head up and keeps walking and walks right past our table. And I turned to Stu, I'm like, did you see that? And Stu's like, I saw that. That was it. That was
okay,
like
that was, and it was so fucking
deliberate.
obvious too. It
It
was
was
just really
so
obvious.
obvious.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
so obvious that she did not want to come to that table. And it was because she saw me. And I mean, Heather's back was to her, so Heather didn't catch the interaction. But I was like front facing her, and she totally saw it and just like would not acknowledge our table at all. Second time she snubs me at this event.
Yeah,
Okay. Dinner. And so I'm like, okay, I'm glad you witnessed, you saw it. You saw I wasn't crazy. You witnessed that whole thing. And that was deliberate and obvious. So then we're coming, appetizers are out. Then they're starting to bring out the entrees. You missed the entrees. The entrees were good. The pizza was delicious. The salmon was good. The Brussels sprouts were incredible.
I
Fries were
got those. I
great.
got some of those.
The
Yeah,
salad was my favorite. The salad was my absolute favorite. Julie says, "What's your beef with her?" I don't know. I'll get into that in a sec. But so you end up leaving before the entrees come. Entrees are there. They're bringing us more champagne, whatever. And then I'm like, I'm going to get up and go to the restroom. So I get up. I go to the bathroom. The bathroom is like down and around in the back of a hall. Like it was a bit of a mission. So there weren't a lot of people. Is my point. Is it's like it was kind of down and around. So it wasn't like a crowded area. And I see like a couple of guys hanging out in like the hall that were at the event, and they're like, "Oh, go ahead, go to the bathroom." And so, but I see like maybe 5 steps ahead of me, Lisa ends up walking into the bathroom right before me. And there's the men's restroom and women's restroom. But the doors are facing each other. So I see her walk in. I'm like, okay, good. I didn't have to run into her, and it didn't have to be awkward. And so I go into the bathroom, and I'm trying to, pee and fix my hair and do whatever. And I'm trying to be quick. So I'm like, the last thing I want to do is come out of the bathroom and bump into her. Because if we open the door at the same time, we're going to see each other face to face, and there's nobody else. It's going to be so obvious that we're like in each other's faces. So I'm trying to hurry up. And then I open the door, and like not even half a second later, she opens her door and we're face to face, which is the one thing I did not want to happen. And so at this point, we're literally face to face. And like, I didn't want to be awkward. So I just like smile, and I was just like, "Hi." Stone cold. Doesn't say hello. Like, looks at me, sees me say hello, like maybe gave like a half a smirk or something. And like stone cold just kept walking right past me. And I was like, okay.
Got it.
I was like, now it is like there's no disputing. The first one you can dismiss as being like, listen, she's busy, she's going around, people be
Sure.
okay. The second one was the table, and I was kind of like, okay, well, if we excuse that, like technically she'd already said hello to Heather, but like she didn't say hello to you and I. She didn't have an
Yeah.
opportunity to thank us for being there. And so it was so wild because, like I told you, Stassi was incredible the entire event.
Uh-huh.
The Hulu team, incredible the entire event. Food, drinks, ambiance, venue, perfume, activation, cocktails with the Vanderpump Villa, all so great, right? Lisa Vanderpump 3 times was just a stone cold, icy, like rude person to me. And I was like, it's just, to me, it was so unprofessional. And like, I don't fault Hulu for this. I don't fault the show or anybody
Mhm.
else. But like, to me, I'm like, that's your talent. And like, if anything, she should be kind and gracious to Ed. And even last night, I was racking in my brain. I'm like, what have I said about her that's bad or
I
that
know,
she maybe
yeah. Have
didn't
you
like? And in my head, I was like, maybe she confused me for somebody else. Like,
Yeah.
probably because of James Kennedy, you called her out. I mean, but like my job is, here's the thing. I've met Garcelle in person. I've met Sutton in person. I've met Crystal in person, like from the Beverly Hills crew. Every interaction with them has been incredible. Like, I cannot say I had a terrible interaction with Garcelle. So sweet, so
Yeah.
kind, and listen, a lot of them know, even Crystal. Crystal, I think at one point blocked me on Instagram. Because my job is to provide commentary on these shows, and it would be disingenuous for me to come on on the podcast and like just praise people when the show
It'd
is
be
called No
boring.
Filter, and
Yeah.
I'm honest, and I just, and I'm being completely honest. The event would have been an incredible experience had there not been this interaction with Lisa that again happened 3 times. Like 3 times she could not even say hello to me, which to me is just it's unprofessional, and it's in such poor taste. Cuz again, Hulu obviously invited me for a reason, and it was
Exactly.
to help promote this show. And I still promoted the show. I posted it on my feed. I posted my photos with Stassi and you and Heather. I remembered to remind people, watch it on Hulu. Here's the date, whatever. I posted on stories and on feed. Like, I was still, there to still be gracious and kind and appreciative and still promote the show that, I was asked to help promote. But to me, I don't know. Like, it was such strange behavior that I've never encountered from
It's
anyone.
just unnecessary. Just be like, "Oh, hi, darling. How are you?" Like, you know what I mean? Just say something.
At the bare, even if I did, let's say I talked trash about her week, which one, if I did talk trash about her and did not like her, I would not have attended the event at all. And I've declined. The other day, Mint Mobile came in with the proposal wanting to sponsor my podcast. Okay, it was an immediate no, right? Because obviously it wouldn't make sense if I promote Mint Mobile, considering I've been very critical of Ryan Reynolds and Blake
Yeah.
Lively. It just wouldn't make sense, and I don't need that money. I'm not going to turn into some Nick Viall sellout. No, you know. So if I didn't like Lisa or I didn't want to do, and I wasn't paid to be at this event, like I was just, invited to attend this event. It wasn't a press event. It was an influencer, podcaster, content creator event. Um, it was just wild to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to. And that's when she was saying hi to Heather that time. Like, I kind of stood to the side as you were saying, like, she gives me this weird vibe. And I think I met her
Lisa?
once. Yeah. I think I met her once years ago. And she was fine, like, whatever that. But, like, I just don't believe, like, watching her on Beverly Hills. Like, I just feel like she just stirs the shit, doesn't take accountability. It's just, I don't know. Like, I just have no interest in kind of like chatting with her. Or you know what I mean? Like, I just was like, oh
Yeah.
no, you guys fucking do your thing. Like, whatever. What I thought was really crazy, um, was Joey Zalzig was there, right?
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
like,
Oh, and he
and
came up to you and he was like
he
saying
was,
hi, like
yeah, he was like, I was
he
like,
like approached you
fuck
and like
you.
was like talking to
Yeah, I
you.
was
Yeah.
like, you've said nothing but shitty things about me on Jeff Lewis Live. I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm like, you're gonna come over here and try and say hi to me, and then like fawning all over like Heather. I'm like, do you know that her and Jeff are not talking like after that whole thing? And like, it's like, Jeff's all about loyalty. I'm like, fucking bet she's not gonna like that when he hears that he was going over to talking to her, and it's like, I know he's just like staring over the whole time, and I'm like, dude, piss off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
I've never met him. I don't even think we got to meet
Zero
at this
interest.
event. Yeah, I don't think I got to even meet him at this event. I think we maybe are familiar with each other through like social media, but I don't think
Yeah,
we've ever formally met. And we didn't even get to meet at this event either. But I did notice he made an effort to come and he said hello to you and he said hi to Heather and like I mean that was
yeah.
nice of him at least, right?
I just kept my head down on my phone. I'm like, and he was like looking at me and to look up, and I'm like, I'm not fucking looking up because if I do, I'll probably punch you in the face. It's
Yeah.
like, if you don't talk shit about me on whatever, on his show and stuff like that, I'll be like, fine, like I'll say hi to you, whatever. But it's like, you've done it for the months and months on end because I've heard people tell me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like, go away.
Yeah. Oh, he misbehaved at ChumCon?
Yeah, I
Isn't I
heard.
always hear he's
Yeah.
misbehaving.
Apparently, I mean, I heard, my friend told me yesterday. Apparently, Jeff reamed him out of it yesterday I think Jeff fucking hates him anyway, so I'm not surprised. I mean, everybody kind of does,
Okay.
so it's fine.
Yeah, it's just what a time. What a night. Like
Yeah,
again, I wouldn't have had anything negative to say about this event at all because again, I'm always grateful and gracious anytime I even get these invites.
yeah.
Like today
No,
I'm
thank
doing a
you for
full
inviting me. It was great fun. I
yeah.
really liked it.
It's just to me, it's like there was no like need for her to be as rude as she was. Again, even if I had talked trash about her, which I don't believe I ever have fully talked trash about her, have I talked about news stories where there have been reports about like
Sure,
pump
yeah,
closing and
normal
stuff like
stuff.
that? Like, sure, I've talked about that, but that's also part of what I do, which is
Like, you
also
haven't
part of
done a
what everybody else
Blake
in the
Lively
room.
on her.
Yeah, no. So yeah, that was just I mean, I think at one point like her team was talking about having her come on my podcast when she had just launched her podcast. Like those conversations were happening. So I didn't even think that there was an issue like at all. But it
Yeah.
was very obvious that she has an issue with me. Danny says you both are better off without all these people you mentioned. You are the company you keep and you don't want the company. Just saying.
Uh-huh. Correct. That's why I was like, I'm not like, oh, hi, how are you? Like, gonna make nice. I'm surprised even Heather said hi to him, like, but I guess Heather was just being nice, you know what I mean? But I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would, if I was talking shit about somebody, I wouldn't go over and expect to say hi to them. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, no. God.
Yeah. I mean, but what a time. I mean, I'm still looking forward to watching the new season of Vanderpump Villa. I think I watched the first season. I enjoyed the first season, so I'll watch the second season.
I'm gonna
I
watch
heard the
this one.
first
Yeah.
episode is good. The first episode, I hear Stassi comes in with a bang, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, just not I mean, clearly not a fan of Lisa Vanderpump now. And, like, obviously and the only reason I felt comfortable because I was, like, going back and forth of, like, should I talk about this on the show? Should I not? But the only reason I did is I was like, well, she thought that I was insignificant enough to even say hello to, right? Like,
Mhm.
she had 3 opportunities to, at the bare minimum, smile and say hi. and
Yeah.
she didn't. So clearly, me and my show are clearly insignificant to her. So it shouldn't even matter me telling this interaction that I had with her on my podcast that, you know, is completely insignificant to helping to promote her show. Whatever. Tiffany said, "Did you get screeners?" Yes, I did get screeners. I haven't watched yet though.
She'll
been
send you a
super
bottle of
slammed.
Vanderpump Rosé.
I doubt I'll get it. Which I did try her Vanderpump champagne, and it was actually delicious. So you didn't get to try it, did you?
No. And I would have. Here's the thing. If I have one drink, I'm like, I'm not fucking going to work. Like, I'm not going to tempt myself with that. But I'll come downtown on
Yeah.
Saturday night. We'll have a drink Saturday night.
Yeah. Sunflower says, "I think it's funny that you were invited to the party for her show, but she couldn't say anything to you." I mean, funny is one way to put it. Brigitte says, but wait, Zack is friendly with all these women. He should write an interview photography book to introduce all these people to people like me who don't know anything about them. Vanderpump Villa. Okay. I think what else? We covered Blake Lively, Time Magazine, Blake and Anna, Vanderpump Villa, Beverly Hills Reunion. I think that's everything.
I think that's everything. Yeah.
I have to do a day at Universal with TikTok. Is this too dressy?
It's kind of cold outside. I bring a sweater.
Well, I was thinking, should I wear this shirt? I have my ripped jeans and my sneakers on because
Okay,
it's gonna be
nice.
like. But like,
Are you doing the park or
this,
you're in the conference room?
so we're doing something. We're doing like a actually, I don't think I'm allowed to say, but so we're doing like something with TikTok, and then we have a full day at Universal that we get to spend with them, and they have like a. But so yeah, but like I'm like, is this too dressy? It's like, should I wear
No.
like a tank top or a t-shirt? Like this is fine, right? Like it's just like a
No,
cute.
yeah, no, you don't want to wear a tank top. No, you want to be a
Because I
bit
still want to look
respectable, I
cute.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look cute.
Okay. Wear a floral cardigan.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I think the fake subpoena is going to sink Blake Lively. Yeah, I talked about the fake subpoena yesterday. Well, it's not
Yeah.
well, we'll see. I wouldn't call it a fake subpoena, but it's definitely an improper subpoena for sure. All right, guys. I think that's all I have for you. I have to finish getting ready because I have to leave in like 10 minutes. I think my car's actually outside already. But
Oh, wow.
love you, appreciate you guys. Be sure to follow Stu. Check out his podcast, Don't Let It Stu. I was just on last week?
No, oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah, you're on last week. And then I'm going to be doing another episode tomorrow with George Takanakis. That's how he spells. I keep saying his name wrong. Giorgio. Sorry, Giorgio. Yeah, we're doing that tomorrow.
Yeah,
morning.
I'm seeing Giorgio today. He's also doing
you're
this. I don't know
seeing
who
him
else is going, but I'm seeing him today for the TikTok thing. So, all right. Well, I will talk to you. Like, guys, check out Don't Let It Stu. Follow Stu on Instagram. You can follow
At
me
Chef
at Just
Stu.
Plain Zack, at Chef Stu. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.